everyone. My name is Molly Patrone, and I'm a learning support teacher out of Littleton, Colorado. Yes, Littleton, Colorado, and not Cleveland. I'm a huge Cleveland Browns fan, and this happens to be the day after they were able to move forward into the playoffs after defeating the horrible, horrible Craftsburg Steelers. So um, that's why I have all this stuff. The cutout is another story for another time. We'll get there. It's fine. She has a hashtag called Flat Patron. You can follow her. I'm sure she has like 2 followers. So, um, what I wanted to do today was give you a little bit more fun to do with Pear Deck, as well as provide you a video for how to use Slip and Slide and kind of explain what it is before you launch into that video. So we're going to start with a presentation that I've made, and I've actually presented this to my students in class. And so really this is just a normal slide presentation, something that I provided students in previous videos. What I've done is created a Pear Deck add-on slide presentation. So really what that is when you go to add-ons, you have all these ones that you may have downloaded. So Pear Deck is one of them. After you've downloaded this, it just creates it on your actual Pear Deck or on your actual settings page. So when I click on it, then it opens up all the different connections and things that I can do with Pear Deck. So my favorites are the draggable and the draw. The text, you can only do words. The choice, you can create choices if you want to do kind of a poll or even a multiple choice, like little kind of formative assessment. Number, it can only be numbers. And a website I like to use, especially in math, because we can go directly to Desmos and they can have the prompt on one side and the graph on the other. And in fact, that's what this slide does for them. It provides them room to put these two equations and then be able to put the x, y coordinates for the intersection of those two lines. So I do like website. I use that quite often as well. The draw is nice because yes, kids can draw. A lot of times they can give them a line feature. It can give them options for points. It also gives them a text box, which I think is a little bit more reliable, especially when we're talking about algebra where we're putting numbers and letters together. So that way that text and the number doesn't work very well. So I have to be very specific on how I want them to write something. And I'm like, I'll just have them draw it. The draggable piece is nice, especially if I want them to hover certain objects over that. You can get as creative and color coded as you want with it. So those are kinds of the things that I use most often. Also, I copy and paste things to death. So I definitely copied and pasted this whole slide, and then I changed the background and changed the prompt. So what I wanted to do today, kind of prompted from a question that I got asked over the weekend. I'm a mentor teacher for one of our new teachers in the office. And so she asked a question if she could edit a slide while students were in a Pear Deck presentation. And I said, no, you can't edit a slide, but you can add a slide. And so I wanted to show you guys what that looks like. So I've already opened the Pear Deck website. And again, you just go to peardeck.com and it'll take you here. You log in. Usually you can use your credentials as a teacher. Our school opted to buy the premium version of Pear Deck, but it was something where it is so amazing and awesome. I would definitely buy the annual feature, even if our district didn't do it. So we do have the premium version, but the premium version is a whole bunch of extra stuff, whereas those other things go, I think the draw goes away. I can't remember how that works, but I would just pay for it. I can't remember how much it is, but I would definitely just pay for it. So this is the home screen. It just kind of gives you all the different stuff, and it gives you stuff that you might have opened in the past as I scroll down, and it gives you kind of like other things that you can try, things that they might have started. There's a lot of social emotional stuff, especially as we're writing out, hopefully the tail end of COVID and hybrid learning. But I'm going to go to sessions, and these are all the sessions that I've recently opened or I have not archived. So you can archive ones that you are not going to use anymore. And all of these are closed. So you can see they're all closed. This one's student paste, which came from last semester in algebra. And actually I can come over here and I can close that. So I just end the session. And then it's done and it's over. And I can archive these if I want to. The one that we're going to look at is the one that I had here. So this is the one that I recently used. So it's at the top. This is the one that I have used just recently. So this one is from another class. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look at, all right, I can reopen the session. Now this is not going to look, this is not going to mess with any of their takeaways or any of their data or anything like that. I'm going to click on, so I have classroom view and dashboard view. The dashboard view gives you all of the data that they might have. So I can show you kind of what that looks like and things that they might have put down. So when we're looking here, like I had this student, we did this work together and they were able to type this down. This is using a text box. So this was kind of a neat thing for them to be able to use. Then I can actually go, move myself over here so I can see it. I can open a projector in a new tab. I like doing that because then I can go between the two, and the dashboard, I can see exactly what the students are doing. So it's kind of a nice thing. So this will say, it'll give you a join code. I still have students that are connected, which is funny. I can give the students a link. It just copies it to your clipboard. I can click out of there and go to my next slide. So on this one, let's just say that I've been working on this slide and I noticed that there's something else that I want to ask them, right? It could be something where it's a true false, or how do you feel about this topic, or anything like that. There's a ton of different things that you can do here. So let's say you've been working on the slide, you identify something more that you want to ask a kid, but you're already in the presentation. It's not going to let you go back to your slide presentation and add a slide, and then all of a sudden it just magically happens. Google and Pear Deck talk to each other, but not that great. They're kind of acquaintances, not friends. Okay, so I'm going to go to my snowman dots, and I'm going to go to, oh, I'm sorry, no, not. I'm going to click new prompt. And what this is going to do is it's going to add all of these different things that they already have added. This is pre-made. So it could be pause and write what you just learned. It could be, what do you wonder about today's topic? A KWL chart, which is usually really neat for them to see. A true false. You can add, do you agree or disagree? A Venn diagram. You can talk about things that we've already learned, things that we're learning, and things that go in between. You could do the number, the multiple choice, the text, things like that. So they have those things that are already there. The graph part is nice, but it just gives you that graph. So if you are in the front of class and you want to add a real quick one, this may not be the best one because you might have to mess with it a little bit. Drawing a picture is nice. But then the last menu they give you is here's things that you have already done, right? So this is the current slide that you're on, and maybe you want to make a draggable, or maybe you want to make a text box, or maybe you want to do, you want them to draw again on it, or maybe you want to add a number, right? You can add this in as you're editing. So if I wanted them to add a number, then I would just say, okay, I want you to add a number here. Give me a 1 out of 5. How do you feel about this? And then I can see how they feel on it. And when they get their takeaways, they can see, oh yeah, that's when she asked us how we felt about it, right? And so then we have that to access for later. So it's kind of a neat activity. It's kind of a nice thing to see. And especially if you're in something, to be able to have students be able to use this appropriately, it's kind of nice. You can also, the other kind of thing that's kind of neat to see is instead of having your dashboard, you can show responses, and it shows everyone's responses for that specific slide. So I'm going to hide the responses. Let's say I want to come back here to the one that we did before, show responses. It'll give me everyone that had their responses on here. So, and I can hide the responses back again too. It shows them everyone's responses, which is kind of neat, so that they can kind of see what are other people answering, and maybe I'm missing something, which may have them ask a question, which is kind of nice. So the other part of this is, so I'm going to end this session. So end the session. I've already published the takeaways to something else, so I'm just going to end the session. Okay, and if I wanted to, you guys saw before I had those two students that were kind of just stuck there. They just didn't log out of it, or they didn't close the screen or something like that. If I really wanted to, if I knew they were still there working on things, I can, instead of ending the session, I can turn it into student paste on the fly, which is kind of really neat too. So Pear Deck is actually probably one of my favorite things to be able to use. And then when we're back in the presentation session, you can kind of see this. So this is closed. So even if I had students still working, like class roster, I have one of 26. This is one of 26. So I can see how many kids that I had on my presentation and how many of them answered. The kind of nice thing about it is I can come all the way down here onto the bottom and I can see all the kids that didn't respond at all. The nice thing about that is because a lot of the stuff we do is participation based, I can base a grade on it and say you didn't access anything on the Pear Deck. So that's actually a really nice tool to be able to have. The other thing, and I'm going to link this to this presentation because I feel like this is another thing that's really awesome. And just like everything else on YouTube, if it's already done well at some point, then why should I recreate it, right? Again, steal and copy everything. So instead of redoing this guy's presentation, I figure I would just add it to mine, and then it'll take you over to his. But he's going to present you something called Slip and Slide. This is for those of you who may have assigned kids a slide presentation to be able to utilize information. Maybe it's notes, maybe it's an interactive notebook, maybe it's notes for the day, maybe it's a building on assignment. I know I have people in my office that do a writer's workshop and a writer's journal, and they want to add a new prompt for each day. This is exactly how you would do it. It's actually another extension that Google provides. So again, if your district allows you to download add-ons, that's great. It is a freemium, so it's free for a certain amount of time, and he'll go over that. I think it's something like $8 for life after your premium version, or for after your free version is up. So I think this is a really great tool. I think this is definitely going to be helpful in and out of the classroom, in and out of hybrid, in and out of remote learning. So definitely, if you guys have questions, just make sure you're contacting me however you feel, and just press that cute little subscribe button and the little bell, and we'd love it. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. And if you're not a Browns fan, you should become one because it was super fun to watch their game the other night.